Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Kneon. I am here with Geeky Sparkles.
Hello.
And we're going to talk about the long, prolonged, slow, agonizing death of IDW Publishing.
Nuh-uh, they're a titan, according to this headline.
Oh, they're a titan.
They're titan. I think they're now more like what would you call them now? They're not really a titan now. They're like an average sized person.
I think they're very normal. They're very mediocre. They're maybe a basketball player. I don't know.
I think that's still giving too much credit.
Yeah, because they haven't scored in quite some time. A very bad basketball player. That is IDW. So look, we've been covering IDW. We're gonna backpedal here. We've been covering IDW for about 2 years now, and it's a very sad situation because IDW. I've actually done work for IDW. I didn't mind the people I worked with at one point in time.
Even though one of them blocked you.
One of them blocked me.
One of the ones who ended up in the Whisper Network, by the way.
Yeah, that was odd.
And you were always so nice to that person. You guys got along great.
I know.
Because people had you on blockchains for things you didn't do. She just blocked you.
Yeah. So
thanks there, Sarah.
Ooh. Anyway, other than that, and the fact that, it took me months to get paid. Okay, so maybe I really didn't have that good of an experience with IDW. In retrospect, it was sort of like a one-sided abusive relationship. Anyway, IDW has been slowly killing itself for the last 3 or 4 years now, and they keep looking for a Hail Mary pass. And I think what they're looking at now is animation as a Hail Mary pass, just to backpedal here a little bit. Okay? IDW has been making all kinds of headlines about how much money they've been losing.
Yes.
I mean, they're bleeding out like I've never seen a
That's why they're not a Titan anymore. They're deflated. They're like a Macy's balloon, and now it's down to like those little balloons you get at Dollar Tree.
They're a flaccid Snoopy.
That's right.
IDW is and they're looking for this next big hit. So the company's lost millions of dollars. They just had, millions and millions. This is January, $26 million they lost in 2019.
No, bear with me here. Here's an idea. Maybe, just maybe, if they had done what they could to make products that fans wanted and not gone out of their way to troll people, that maybe they wouldn't be in this much trouble now.
Maybe
they didn't throw it all into TV and movies and all that. They wouldn't be in so much trouble now.
Well, that's what happened. So IDW was not content to just be a comic book publisher. They were actually a pretty successful comic book publisher. IDW decided they were going to chase Hollywood. And so they worked out some Netflix deals, Hulu deals, whatever, and pretty much all of them went bust. And they bankrolled these pilots themselves, and or some of these seasons themselves, and they lost millions and millions and millions of dollars. And then Chris Ryall leaves. He left before he came back. He left again. And they bring this other guy in, this Judd Myers, and he's there for 5 days and he gets fired. 5 days and he gets fired. And then they bring in another guy. And this guy's from Disney Publishing, because that's going to be their Hail Mary pass. They think they're going to get more Disney Comics licenses or something.
That's exactly what they're trying to do. They're trying to use someone from Disney to get themselves Disney. Well, they joked that he was a former head of Marvel Press.
Yes.
And we keep saying Marvel's going to probably be jobbed out someplace like IDW or something.
Yep.
And then this happens, guys. It's almost like, we saw this coming.
So what's going on here? Well, there's been a lot of talk, because I just get the vibe, like I can just see these IDW executives sitting around like, God, we're going to go out of business. What do? We need an idea. Netflix didn't work. Comics aren't working. Hey there, Joe. I was reading the Wall Street Journal today, and they said that animation's where it's at.
That's right.
Let's go all in on animation.
Animation's great as long as you pick products that are going to work. And all these companies keep picking the most out there properties they can find, or they reboot other things poorly, and it just falls apart.
Yeah, everybody's chasing animation now, and what I think is going to happen, honestly, is kind of like the video game crash, where there was so much subpar content being produced. Everybody and their brother and sister, wanted to create video games, Atari games, back in the early 80s, and the whole thing crashed. And I think we're gonna have a lot of people who aren't good at animation, making animation, because they're dead in the water when it comes to live action because of the pandemic. So here comes IDW. This just got posted.
Oh boy, we're going to make more bad choices.
We're going to make more bad choices.
You know exactly what kind of shows they're going to pick.
Oh, for God's sake, you know exactly. You do know exactly.
This is going to go, yes.
So IDW now, they failed at Netflix and Hulu. They're failing as a comic book publisher. They're failing as a marketing agency. They sold off their marketing company, or looking for a buyer for that. So now they want to be an animation studio.
Oh boy.
This is coming from Cartoon Brew. Comics Titan IDW announces new executive hirings will start producing animation. IDW, the sister studio to Comics Titan IDW Publishing, it's entertainment, is getting into animation because, it's so easy. It's so easy to just
jump ambitious push into, I'm sure there's ambitious, into kids, family, and young adult space.
You had it right the first time. It's an ambush.
Yep.
All these comics people, now that they're being displaced and it's very clear that the comic book industry is burning down, now all of a sudden they're like, let's go get an animation deal, because it's so much easier to do that than make comic books.
No, but it's just funny to me because you know damn well the people the stories they're going to pick are not ones they're going to go. They're not ones that are going to go for family or kids or whatever, and they're going to fail, and everybody's going to be terrible people because they failed.
It's going to be the wokest of the woke.
That's exactly what they're going to do.
Very, very, very woke.
These companies keep not picking stories that are good stories, that will do well. They just keep picking whatever they think they should pick because Hollywood.
And we know where Hollywood's head's at right now. So Jeff Brewstrom, image at top center, that's Jeff, I guess, has been appointed Vice President of Kids, Family, and Animation, and Daniel Kendrick left, okay. Director of Animation at IDW Entertainment. Brewstrom will oversee the development and production of a growing slate of live action and animated projects, drama and comedy, based on graphic novels, prose, and other source materials.
And we already know they keep picking graphic novels that don't sell because they're not things that kids want.
With Kendrick overseeing the animation slate, IDW has hired Erica Turner, as senior editor of original content at IDW Publishing. She will focus on the development and acquisition of original IP at the publisher, primarily in the categories of kids, middle grade, and young adult.
Okay, I'm going to take for a minute. I am so pissed here because IDW was doing books that were their own, that were original IP. Mm-hmm. And then we tried to get in there, this is a few years ago, and then we're not taking original IP, and now they're going back to original IP because other stuff didn't work.
The thing is IDW has nothing of value because they've spent all this time developing and publishing other people's comics and kind of ignoring, homegrown projects. Now they want to, offload the company, and there's no value. Like, you could shut IDW down tomorrow. Literally nothing is lost. Somebody else would come along and publish Transformers comics or whatever.
Oh, well, go down. It tells you what that Jeff Brewstrom has previously worked on. He developed hit live-action series like Hannah Montana. He also developed Brandy and Mr. Whiskers, The Emperor's New School, and Lilo and Such a Series. Okay, well, Lilo and Such a Series was good.
It was okay.
And he was recently independent consultant. That means he doesn't have a job.
That means Disney shit canned him.
That means he doesn't. That means when you're an independent consultant, that means you didn't have a job someplace else. You couldn't find something, so you became a consultant.
Okay, so Kendrick, that's the animation guy, moves from LA production management company Chatron, where he represented artists and creators, oversaw animation projects from initial concept through release. He worked on the Book of Life.
They don't say what he did specifically. Does he worked on? Well, you could have stamped or stapled a couple packets together. I worked on the Book of Life. I'm not saying that's what he did. I'm just saying I see this in Hollywood all the time. That's the reason I hated Hollywood. It was like, how can you manipulate and lie? We were there, and the one person we were down there to perform, and the one person that was working with us told us to literally stand in front of a location, sing a few notes, and say we sang there. That's how they manipulate. Did we sing there? Well, technically, yes. Did we really? No.
Okay, so this is Turner. Okay, there's Turner. Turner, before joining IDW Publishing, Turner was senior editor at Versify, an imprint of Houghton Mifflin Harcourt that publishes children's books with an emphasis on racial and cultural diversity.
And she's the one picking the project.
Yes.
There you go. Just like I said.
I'm passionate about harnessing the power of literature to empower young people, especially those from traditionally underrepresented backgrounds.
I'm just going to translate for you. It's going to be anybody but white people for these shows.
And did they not understand? So here's the thing. IDW, just a couple of years ago, there was a call to sell the damn company. Like their investors were like, you need to offload this thing. It's hemorrhaging cash. Editors were jumping ship. Talent was jumping ship. Everybody's jumping ship. Do they not realize that an animated series, just one animated series, can take years to develop?
Costs a lot of money.
It costs a lot of money. They don't have years. IDW does not have years.
Right.
IDW is lucky if it has months. But I think this is all another round of 3-card Monty to fool investors into thinking that this company actually has a future. I'm sorry, is that harsh?
I don't really care. I'm just gonna be
Was
harsh
that
anymore.
harsh?
And I'm like, we know they're going to go looking for things to acquire, and the person that's out there acquiring basically says, "I'm looking for diverse things," and that's it. So it's basically Hollywood again 2.0 again.
Well, that's what they want to be.
And I'm like, I'm for diversity. I don't mind, seeing some more diverse shows. I don't have a problem with that. What I have a problem with is that's what it's going to be.
Yeah.
So it's not going to be based on what's the best story. It's going to be based on, your adjectives, not how good of a storyteller you are.
Yeah, so I think they're kind of looking at Peacock because Peacock did Cleopatra in Space, and they're starting to adapt more of these middle grade graphic novels, but a lot of these books don't really sell that well, other than Raina Telgemeier, which is weirdly enough, Raina Telgemeier is probably the best seller of that whole group, the Scholastic and all of that, and there is no Smile movie. There is no Raina Telgemeier TV show that I'm aware of. I don't know. Go figure. But yeah, that's IDW. This is their Hail Mary pass because they're living on a prayer at this point. But interesting. We'll throw this into it too because it was IDW's brain fart to come up with the Hasbroverse.
Yes.
And now which actually they pulled the plug on, I believe. But there's more talk now that they're going to actually do a Hasbroverse when they relaunched G.I. Joe with the Snake Eyes movie.
No.
Don't. Just stop.
No.
Just stop.
As much as I love Mask, because she said they changed the heck out of that too.
IDW changed Mask.
Of course they did. I loved Mask, and I'm sure they went and messed it all up. Who knows? But yeah, now that's their bright idea. We're going to put them all together.
Yeah. I don't think this is going to work. I mean, everybody wants to have an MCU. But I think that ship has sailed anyway because the MCU I don't think is going to be as strong of a brand as it was a couple of years ago, especially looking at the slate of movies coming up. Like, I don't think people are really going to give a shit like they did before.
No.
And I'm sorry. Nobody wants... I mean, you might be able to do a good Mask movie. You might be able to do a good Transformers movie or a good G.I. Joe movie. But G.I. Joe gets significantly more ridiculous when you bring the Transformers and Mask into it. And there's just a lot... It's just not going to work.
Right. I mean, at first I was like trying to think, do they mean like, films, plural? No. It says one film. Yeah. So I'm like, why?
It's a rumor.
Please don't be true.
It's a rumor. But I do not want to see a Masked Transformers G.I. Joe clusterfuck of a movie.
No.
This was IDW's thing. They actually, again, they've been chasing Hollywood. They tried to do a Hasbro cinematic universe, and I think this is how they justified their existence to Hasbro. Even though the comics weren't selling well, they're like, hey guys, we're going to make a cinematic universe with all your toy brands in one movie. And the executives were like, ooh, that sounds good. It's great. We can sell more shit, But this is like totally cart before the horse because we don't know if the Snake Eyes movie is going to be any good. This is what they're going to...
I just can't even... No, Snake Eyes already not going to be good because...
Yeah.
Don't you know that how dare you? You're stereotyping because you can't have a blonde-haired, blue-eyed ninja. They have to be Asian, of course. You horrible people. What the hell's wrong with you? Why are you stereotyping people like that?
Well, this is... Hasbro announced its intention to create its own cinematic universe heralded by Paramount. I remember this. They had a big announcement, but it was going to be G.I. Joe Micronauts, Mask, Visionaries, and ROM, and none of these...
Wait, they're going to have movies for each one, then can combine them together?
Into like an MCU type thing.
Oh my god. Okay.
Such a stupid... You know what I want to see? I want to see the Monster Cereal cinematic universe. I want to see Frankenberry and Boo Berry and Count Chocula have their own franchises, but then they all come together. And then they introduce Fruity Yummy Mummy.
I was going to say you're missing one, but okay.
And Fruit Brute.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about Fruit Brute.
Fruit Brut's a crafty bastard. Yeah, they need to do that. Because
funny side story, Kneon really, really, really loves those cereal characters.
I do.
He really does. He loves them. So anyway.
I do. I don't know why. Like, usually we get the cereal and I eat about half a box of it because I'm not really a big breakfast person anyway. But I'll eat like half a box of cereal and then I'm like, yeah, I'm sick of it.
I'm not even talking about the cereal, just the characters.
I like look, I have a soft spot for advertising mascot.
Yes, I just bought him like all the McDonald's. I have to still get him the Fry Guys, but all the McDonald's pop figures, I did buy him because he was always loved, Mayor McCheese and the Hamburglar and Grimace and Officer Big Mac and so on. So I got those for him. And you know what? I can't tell you how many times he's seen the cereal ones, and he's like, I kind of want those.
Yeah, I know. I don't even like Pops that much.
One of the coolest things I ever saw was it was over at Steel City Con. We have a picture somewhere. Somebody came in as Frankenberry, but it was steampunk Frankenberry.
Oh, I remember steampunk.
And it was amazing. It was steampunk Frankenberry, and it was one of the coolest things I've ever seen. It was amazing, and if you ever happen to know that person, tell them that was amazing.
I just think it's cool because back in the day, like every food, every product had a cartoon mascot.
They did.
And it was a totally different era, and I loved that. And, cereal, like to 80s kids, that was, everything. Everybody bought cereal. Now it's like cereal's not that big of a deal. Kids don't really eat cereal.
No.
Healthy food.
We used to eat cereal like, you need a snack, here's a bowl of cereal. Mama doesn't want to cook dinner, here's a bowl of cereal.
Yeah, right?
Maybe
it was just us. Maybe it was just,
run a car trip, pour some cereal in a Ziploc and take that stuff with you.
Pour some cereal on me.
I don't think that's what they meant by that song, but okay.
Frankenberry. I think Frankenberry and
you want Frankenberry to pour cereal on you?
I think Frankenberry and Count Chocula had a thing. Judging by the cartoons, there was a lot of tension. I shipped them. Frankula.
Now it's completely official because you shipped it. We demand our ship. Was it General Mills?
It was General Mills.
Yeah, General Mills. We demand our ship.
We demand it. You need to make Frankula canon.
That's right. And what we have Boo Berry, and who could we pair Boo Berry up with?
Fruit Brute. So it could be Bummy, or no, Fruity Yummy Mummy could be Bummy, or
That's right.
Could be Boo Root.
Boo Brute.
Boo Brute. Boo Brute.
Fruit Brew. Fruit Boo.
Fruit Brew.
Fruit Boo.
That sounds alcoholic.
We demand our ship.
We demand our ship. Anyway, yeah. So speaking of ships, this ship is sinking. IDW is
the ginger can't save it.
Even the ginger can't save it. I'm sorry, guys. This is too little, too late, and I think this is all buzzwords. Just because, look, I mean, God, you just look up IDW Publishing. Losses for like 3 years in a row.
I don't know where they're getting the money to do this.
It's like...
Go down. There was one that was recent, September 14th. Third quarter fiscal year 2020 results. What is it? Loss from?
Losses, yeah. They lost another $500,000 or something.
I mean,
who cares at this point? Who the hell is even counting at this point? Just throw the money into a... I don't know where
the money's coming from. It's like a black
fund.
Hole of money. How do I find one of those?
Where is it coming from? Because there's nothing they're making that generates any meaningful revenue. Like, I'm looking at their comics.
You could have said just doesn't generate anything meaningful. You could have just ended it there.
Their comics are, other than the graphic novels, like the monthly comics are selling for shit, and their board games don't sell that well either.
They're going, we're nominated for awards. Well, it's not hard. They totally, these award ceremonies are just like, a load of crap. And they're all, I'd say rigged, my personal opinion. In my opinion.
Yeah, and they're playing 3-card money here with the Netflix shows and stuff. They're like, oh guys, we're going to be profitable next year. Next year is going to be our year. Yeah, now they're going to, what they're going to do, right?
But this should be their year though, if they're doing it with the shows, because they should have been ahead of the game. Everybody was trapped in their house.
I know, you would think that they would actually do better. Yeah, so they only lost, they only lost a half of $600,000 last year. It's better than last year. Last year they had lost $1.2 million. That's just in publishing. So yeah, they're not, come on. This is, Why would you give them more money? Who would give them more money?
I don't know, Fruit Brute.
Fruit Brute's giving them money. That's where the money's coming from.
That's why I don't hear from Fruit Brute anymore.
That bitch. All right, so we're gonna wrap this one up.
Yeah.
Please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, and we'll talk to you guys later.
Bye.